And away we go. It's just me at the moment. Now, I'm not sure if this recording will allow me. So I'm going to tell you what happened just before starting this recording. Okay, so come on, just before I was about to start recording, and I said, hello, Risk. And then at least twice, Risk said, hello? Hello? Even though I keep talking to see if he could hear me, he could not. Even though I could hear him, and there's I don't understand what I was not too fussed about the technical problem because I knew he would come back on anyway. So like a minute or two after Risk left because of the technical problem, I was going to start recording this episode, and like a few seconds in, Riverside, the system I'm recording these podcast episodes on, a message popped up saying audio disconnect, or something along those lines. I don't know what else to press. I pressed disconnect, then immediately I was kicked out of the recording booth. I was genuinely confused. Like, what just happened? What is it that whoever is setting this up was trying to prevent me from doing? I don't even know. I'm trying to get an understanding, but I have no idea. And I don't want to point fingers either, even though I've been critical multiple times of higher authority around the world. I was genuinely confused about that technical difficulty on Riverside. So, on the Discord group chat that me, Risk, and Eric are on, I explained to Risk, saying, and I tagged him, saying, I can hear you, but can you hear me, Mark? Risk said, can't hear you. And then I replied, that's strange. I was able to hear you a moment ago when he was in the recording booth, just before starting recording the episode. Risk said, relaunch it. I tried to relaunch it, but at that time, the audio or my headset that I used to speak and listen to the lads, a message pops up saying there is a problem with your audio. I don't know what else to do. I pressed disconnect because it was going to kick me off anyway, even I didn't press it. And of course, I was kicked out of the recording booth, and I tried to join in again, but it was taking who knows how long to get back in the recording booth. I refreshed Riverside, hoping that will fix the problem. I hope. And of course, this faulty technical problem recording that's like under a minute long, it's still being processed. I'm not going to use it under any circumstance because I don't know what's the point of using that. And anyway, after I'd done all that, I responded into our Discord group chat saying, I started the recording after you left. However, a few seconds in, my headset mic suddenly disconnected and kicked me out of the recording booth. And then Risk replied, and then all of a sudden, Eric commented, Matrix attack? How could it not be funny? Matrix attack. Not I want to point fingers, but if it's not that, then what's the reason? That's so funny. That is hilarious. Now, if this happened a few years back, I would be furious. I would be outraged. Like, what are you doing, you piece of crap? But over time, I've learned to be relaxed with myself because it happens. There's always going to be technical problems at times, even if it's somewhat coordinated, given how much I said and how much I know. I think they're being nice to me, no matter how much of a threat I am to them. So yeah, just thought it just happened in the moment. It's important. Just thought I would mention that just in case. Well, what was going on with the episode that you're listening to right now? Not to say there will be any problems in this episode, but just before I was about to start recording this episode, there were a couple of technical problems that I genuinely had no idea what was going on. Because if there was some piece of information about, I don't know, FBI covering up some military aircraft distracting the people with UFOs, something like that, or Gaddafi's reign as leader of Libya, and he was trying to enrich his own people in the nation. Anything that is deemed controversial or any information that would be problematic for whoever high authority would be concerned. Fair enough. I will not argue with that. However, just as I was about to start recording, honestly, I had no idea. I haven't even opened up ground news or straight hour news, the apps that I use to report whatever news stories is going on in the world. I haven't, e- I haven't even opened those apps yet, and those technical problems just popped up all of a sudden. Then again, if I was going to discuss something, they would have done it again at halfway through this recording. Anyway, I'm gonna message the lads in the group. Okay, so I have messaged the lads in the Discord group chat that it's all good now for now, and yeah, let's see what news stories I'm going to rant about tonight. Because, well, who knows what's going on in this world? Cracker Barrel unveils a controversial logo change. Cracker Barrel has changed its logo for the first time in 48 years, prompting backlash from conservatives and ridicule from others on social media. The Southern-inspired dining chain has decided to drop the familiar barrel and man from its logo, opting for a design more closely tied to the barrel shape itself. Hello, Risk.
Talk
Can
about
you
the
hear me
Cracker
now?
Barrel logo. Is that what you're
Yes.
talking about, the Cracker Barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's dumb. Why the hell would you change your logo for a store that literally is a logo people like? The
If it ain't
question
broke,
is,
don't
how
fix
many
it.
people will they lose? But yeah.
Yeah, so as I was starting this recording, I was describing the situation, like what was going on. I haven't even opened the news aggregator apps yet. And already there
Yeah,
was something getting in the way, and Eric was like, Matrix attack? I found that so
possibly.
funny.
Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, so things are getting interesting.
How so?
Let's just say this. I think the country is going to go in an interesting direction. I'm loving seeing so many people waving their flags. I haven't seen many, but I hear there's going to be a lot of people waving their flags where I live soon.
Yeah.
I
And
just
don't
can't
forget,
wait to see
September
it.
3rd.
What's happening then?
Have you not heard? September 3rd.
Aren't they planning some type of fatality event or something like that? Like, ain't the
No,
company planning, the government planning something like that? Ain't that the reason why they hired someone for a fatality expert or something like that? A certain position. Wasn't that you that tweeted that in the chat?
no, I don't remember saying anything like that, but you're not far off with something like that. No, the reason I'm saying this, September 13th is the day of the Patriots protests in London. And get this, I saw a video on TikTok saying that during September 13th, TikTok is planning to update its community guidelines specifically on September 3rd.
So what are they planning?
TikTok themselves aren't planning to do anything much.
Well, they clearly are. Why the fuck? The day that they're doing a fucking event like that, why are they planning to change their guidance that day? They could do it any fucking day. Why that day in Pacific? That's what I want to know.
The
Is it
thing
a
is,
false flag? Is this a false flag so they can freaking roll in more draconian things against us?
it's nothing. It's nothing. It has nothing to do with the flags. One of the TikTok videos I was watching regarding the updates to the guidelines on TikTok on September 13th, there is going to be planned delays for multiple rail services across the UK.
Why is that? Because why would that be?
Because if September 13th is the Patriots protest happening in London, I think people who would want to go to that protest in London would likely take the train. But since there's going to likely be delays on those railway services, that's going to take a while for people across the UK to go to London on September 13th for that protest. I'm just saying, people would likely mention that if that was the case.
Yeah. Again, I don't think protesting does anything. But I do
It's not
think the
enough.
thing with Yiping, what they did with Yiping is a good is a cornerstone of what they should be doing as well. If it were up to me, here's what I would do, Jamie. This is what I would do. We know the countries that these people are coming from.
Yes.
Why don't we threaten sanctions on these fucking countries to take their fucking people back? And if they don't, why not invade Eritrea? Why not invade Somalia? Why not invade Afghanistan? Why not fucking bomb the living shit out of them? If they're going to fucking flood us with third worlders, why are we sitting and taking it? We are the third or fourth biggest military in the world. We have nuclear fucking weapons. We are one of the third or fourth strongest country in the world. We might be on par with Russia, if not better. China hasn't got a real army. Let's be real here. The state of China's army is not real. China's not a power threat to anyone. Neither is India. The UK is the only big. UK and America are really the only two people in town. Why do we let these people come into our country? Why don't we just fucking bomb them? Why don't we fucking let them drown? We're too much pussies. They knew not do the same for us. But yeah. So what else is there?
French streamer's on-air death provokes outcry as authorities probe allegations of abuse.
Can you see Africa being colonized again?
Isn't most African nations still technically under colonization by trade?
No, I mean ethnic colonization. You don't think we could colonize them again? You don't think Britain, Europe, and America, and Russia, and China, maybe Japan might not want to colonize Africa again? Why don't we carve them up then? Why doesn't Britain and France, America, Japan, China, and Russia not carve up Africa? Why don't we carve up Africa? Heck, we could even let Brazil take a slice as well. We'll take South Africa. We'll let China have some of the ports in We'll let China have some of the ports. We'll let China have some ports. We'll let Russia have some ports near Egypt, near Ethiopia. If we were to colonize Africa again, who would be the countries colonizing it?
The same old countries that colonized Africa.
You're telling me that they wouldn't be China wouldn't look to colonize them, or Russia?
China has big enough trade connections. Why would it need to colonize African nations? They're already making enough money from trade.
It wants power. And it wants strategic locations like harbours and access to water ports for national security reason. Russia, do you think we'll ever see a united Africa?
Not entirely.
So what countries would you say in Africa is actually functioning?
Huh.
And I'm not including the Middle East. They're their own separate thing.
Fair enough.
So just Africa.
I think Rwanda is the best bet of all.
I would say Morocco or freaking Egypt.
Yeah, I was certainly thinking Egypt because it's big enough
Egypt
population.
or Morocco, those two seem like the most stable out of the rest of them. The rest of them African. I don't even think Egypt classes itself as African. Do you?
Geographically,
I don't even think
yes.
Morocco classes themselves as African.
Well, they may be geographically, but not ethnically, for sure. So
yeah, not ethnically. They view themselves more as Greek or Roman. They definitely have more in common with the Greek with Europe. Do you think the EU would? How do you think the EU would happen? What do you think would happen if the EU were to absorb African countries into it?
Well, if the European Union absorbed African nations to be members of the EU, the membership, at least the distribution of membership, will be so imbalanced. Like all the existing EU members in Europe, they'll be paying more to be members of the EU than the amounts of money in membership given back to them. Whilst African countries of the European Union would benefit the most, because at that point they have nothing to lose.
But we would annex. Is that the reason why they denied Morocco?
No, they denied Morocco for cultural reasons.
But they're European. They were colonized by Portugal, which is an EU member state.
Well,
Same with France.
Actually, Morocco was kind of colonized between France and Spain. Mostly France.
And Portugal. Portugal colonized parts of it as well. Portugal had a massive empire as well.
Yeah, but that's with Angola and Mozambique. Also, Sao Tome and Principe, Guinea-Bissau, and Cape Verde as well.
They also own parts of the Caribbean as well. And Brazil. Don't
Yes.
forget, Brazil was originally a Portuguese territory.
Oh yes, absolutely. I know because I have family in Brazil.
I've got family. I've supposedly got family in Sweden.
Okay.
Never met her, but I've never met them. But I suppose they have family in Sweden. I've got people in fricking. We've got people in the Highlands, the Highland Islands. Yeah, the country's a different place.
It sure is.
Will we get 51st state?
Not for a very, very long while.
Will I still be alive by that time?
That is very debatable.
The state of the UK 4 years from now.
Well, I think it'll be close towards the next general election. Reform UK has very high support, even though there's people that are very critical of what they've been doing the last few years.
I'm very critical. I don't think they're really gonna fucking do anything. I want them to fucking deport people, but I don't believe they fucking will. I want them to ban the fucking hijab, but they won't. I want them to go after these fucking pedo Muslims and fucking kick them out of this country. All the ones that are fucking willing. I'm happy to have. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to have Islam in this country, as long as they're fucking like the Saudis. Don't let it mess with their state and allow them to fucking govern. Yeah, give me a fucking religion for all I fucking care. Look, I'm happy to have it. I'm happy to have Christianity. I'm happy to have every fucking religion under the fucking sun, as long as they don't mess and fucking force it down your fucking throat. Muslims are fucking welcome here, as long as they fucking mind their own business, stop trying to convert people, and simply just live their fucking lives. You don't mess with the government affairs. You don't mess with shit like this. As long as you fucking pay your taxes, that's all I fucking care about. And as long as you fucking integrate. Other than that, I have no fucking problem. As long as you came here legally, you pay your taxes, you've basically integrated, I don't have any problem with any other race living here. I don't think you really do either.
Couldn't have said that better myself.
Yes, as long as you pay your taxes, as long as you freaking came here legally, and you're not taking the fucking piss, then you're more than welcome to fucking call it your home. But when you don't freaking pay your taxes, when you literally screw over the working class man and woman, and you basically stop them from freaking getting appointments or getting appointments or housing, then we have a problem. Well, what else is there?
Let's see.
What
Students
else?
face new cell phone restrictions in 17 states as school year begins.
US.
Oh yes.
What are they planning?
For the 24-25 school year, Kentucky is among 17 states, plus Washington, D.C., that have introduced new limitations on cell phone usage in schools to enhance the educational environment.
What are the restrictions?
Let's see. That the way follows Florida's 2023 law banning phones during school hours and endorsements by governors like Kathy Hochul and Gretchen Whitmer, who prioritize such legislation. Supporters
I don't
highlight
think
benefits.
those two are popular, but heck.
Supporters
Okay.
highlight benefits such as increased focus and safer environments, while surveys of 125 Georgia districts reveal parental resistance is a key challenge to regulating student phone use.
I see the good points of it, but I also see the bad points of it.
The new policy's effectiveness remains uncertain, with ongoing research on social media's mental health impact, and some states continue to resist mandating phone restrictions, emphasizing local control.
I see I see it from both sides. I see the side that it might help education, but I also see it as a way for the state to frickin' push propaganda against your child. It's a hard one, ain't it?
It sure is.
There's good things and there's bad things.
It's quite a pickle, that one.
I'm honestly surprised DC's pushing going with this. Aren't you? I thought
Yeah,
they'd be against it.
yeah, I thought so too. Well, given that what
How's
happened,
California on this issue?
uh, I'm not sure if California's even mentioned in this.
Okay. I think JD Vance is going to be a very interesting nominee. I think JD Vance is probably going to be the next president, 48th president of the United States. What do you think the chances? Who's his VP?
I think Marco Rubio is most likely
That's what
to
I'm
be the
thinking.
VP.
Yeah, Marco. Marco's an interesting guy. Marco.
Because it's not JD Vance. Marco Rubio would be the next most likely Republican candidates.
Let's be real here. Have Marco as the freaking thing to help coach him and that, and then you can and Marco can run as VP, and then they can have like, who knows? Then maybe after that, maybe they can have RFK Jr. or heck, maybe they can have freaking Tulsi Gabbard run as vice president.
And the cycle continues.
And then maybe by that time, maybe freaking Trump, maybe freaking Don Jr. or who knows, maybe even freaking Trump's youngest son can run or run as a governor. Maybe you can. Who do you think's going to? What about? Do you think DeSantis' career as Do you think DeSantis is probably over, or do you think he might run for Speaker of the House or as senator?
Well, it's certainly not over for DeSantis, but for him to be the next president, it's very, very slim.
Do you think he'll have do you think he might make a decent? Do you think he might have a good role in the freaking in the next presidency?
I think he'll have a very good shot in the next presidential candidate race for the Republican Party, but that'll be as good as it'll get for him.
So you don't think he'll get a position in Vance's cabinet?
I didn't say he won't be a part of Vance's administration. It's just for him to be president is very unlikely.
I think he fucked his chances. All DeSantis had to do was shut his mouth, wait in time. He might have been in JD Vance's position. Fucking inherit the fucking empire. Put up with Trump, listen with Trump for the next fucking 5 years until he's fucking out, and then you fucking run and you become president. So who's the leader of the Democrat Party right now?
I wasn't going to say Nancy Pelosi if she wasn't.
She's not. She's not even in politics anymore. She's out.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're naming a bill after her. It's called the Pelosi Act. It's a bill about insider trading, banning insider trading for congressmen and congresswomen. Yes.
All right, so
the Trump administration is naming a bill after Nancy Pelosi. The Pelosi Act, a bill that would frickin' stop insider trading for politicians, senators and governors, or any elected official on any massive meeting on any council. But so what else is there?
The chairperson of the Democrat Party is Ken Martin.
Ain't he the guy that was crying over because David Hogg was fucking telling him we need to fucking sack the freaking idiots?
I wouldn't know.
I'm pretty sure he was.
Greta Thunberg leads road and watercraft blockade of Norway's Mongstad refinery.
Why doesn't that bitch get fucking... I swear she's related to Klaus Schwab. Or she's fucking related to some fucking bastard high up.
She is everywhere, that's for sure.
That bitch needs to be fucking locked up.
Only when they get bored of her.
How the fuck is someone there just saying, enough's enough, you're going to fucking jail? But I'm sure she's got enough money. Mommy and dad, you bail her out. She's clearly fucking loaded. I don't know who the fuck her family is, but they clearly must be fucking loaded. She can fly around there. What's the next?
Some 200 climate activists, including Greta Thunberg of Sweden, blocked Norway's largest oil refinery on Monday in a protest demanding an end to the country's oil industry, organizers and police said. Activists from Extinction Rebellion sat on the road, blocking the entrance to the Mongstad refinery in Bergen on Norway's southwestern coast, while kayaks and sailboats obstructed the port's entrance.
Why not just fucking get a gun and fucking shoot them? Or fucking ram them over? Who gives a fuck? Useless waste of oxygen. KKR's looking to buy the Nissan's former headquarter building. 610 million. Did you hear that Reeves is looking to tax people that own property every year? If the property goes up in price, you make you're gonna have to pay mass amounts in tax. Yes, they're looking to do some weird tax thing. My first answer was to my parents, look, alright, yeah, let's say they do this, right? How much fucking bastards in fucking Mayfair and fucking Glite Street or Knightsbridge and all those other freaking fancy places that are freaking loaded, right? Or even certain parts of Manchester, right? How many of them are going to say, fuck you, and just fucking take their money and fuck off out of the country? What they're planning with property is just a fucking night edge. It'll just freaking tell more people, you know what, UK's unserious in business. You got the many sheiks that own freaking the many very wealthy Muslims in like freaking Dubai, right? They're going to say, "Oh fuck you," especially the royal family. They're going to say, "Oh fuck you." and they're gonna freaking leave. They'll take their money. Remember Mohammed bin Salman owns a shitload of property in Scotland, the UK, even Scotland. They own like tons of shit. So what else is there?
Powell to give his last Jackson Hole speech under watchful gaze of Wall Street and the White House.
So he's finally getting sacked.
Well, who knows? The Federal Reserve is set to give clues on potential interest rate cuts at the annual Jackson Hole Economic Policy Symposium amid pressure from the White House and Wall Street.
Amazon's bet on grocery hasn't done with rivals. You do realise Amazon only bought Whole Foods. They could buy Kroger, you know. They could buy Kroger or Albertsons, which would in turn give them a bigger slice of the pie.
That'll be a massive
They could buy
monopoly.
Kroger or they could buy Albertsons. Heck, if they wanted to, they could even acquire Target for all I care. If Amazon was truly serious about retail frickin' shopping, they would acquire Kroger or they'd acquire Albertsons. Amazon could easily afford to acquire Kroger because I'm pretty sure its market cap's only like frickin' $5 billion or something like that.
That's a lot of money and a lot of value.
Not to Amazon though. That's fucking pocket change to them.
Little pennies.
They make like frickin' 200 billion a frickin' minute, don't they?
Yeah.
Revenue.
So why would Amazon want to take ownership of a grocer or supermarket?
Because they want to compete in the frickin' retail market. They want to take sales from Walmart, and they want to be in retail shopping because they don't want to be just simply online. They want to be in brick and mortar retail. They want the supply of literally selling grocery items to people in shop floors. They want the demand. They want to have the home base and the warehouse space to literally be able to sell quicker to people in the morning. Right? No, my mistake. Kroger's worth 47 billion, but again, Amazon could easily afford that. It was going to be a big acquisition for them, or they could acquire Albertsons, which is a lot cheaper. It's only 10.9 billion, or they could acquire Target, which is only 50 billion. Would the Trump administration allow an acquisition of Target?
They could.
Would they?
What would they gain from it?
So much.
If only they knew,
Walmart's
they
the
would have done
biggest
that.
Walmart's the biggest retailer in just America, Mexico, and even other countries, right? If they were to acquire Walmart, they'd gain a lot more business. They would gain a monopoly, and they not only would they dominate online, they dominate brick and mortar. And here's a funny idea, right? What if Bezos secretly just wanted to try funded a hostile takeover against Walmart by simply just buying up all their shares and taking a majority stake in it, right? And then slowly over the years, Bezos could easily acquire Walmart if he wanted to.
He could.
He could.
He certainly
Amazon
could.
should start launching a hostile takeover against Walmart by buying up shares in it and taking it over hostilely, and then forcing their board out and under them, buying their board off. And then here's the thing: why would you merge? Give yourself attention, right? Why would you give yourself attention, right? Why would you give yourself attention from the government, right? When all you have to do is you could discreetly buy control over Walmart, right? Control all the road. You only need 15% 15% share amount of the shares, right, to take control of most boards, take control of most of the most. But yeah. So what else is there?
Hundreds of thousands of Grok chats surfaced in Google after share link indexing flaw.
Grok.
Yes, Grok.
Isn't that Google? Isn't that X?
Yes, it is.
So why is Google using X then? X is X.
Elon Musk's AI chatbot Grok published over 370,000 user conversations online, making them publicly searchable on Google as of August 2025.
I'm sure Google's going to be training their AI on that.
Yes, they will. This occurred because Grok's share feature generated unique URLs indexed by search engines without users being warned their private chats could be exposed. The leaked chats contained varied content including sensitive personal data, passwords, medical questions, and some troubling instructions linked to illegal activities.
Okay. Apollo, let's take a look at Apollo. The private equity firms are buying stuff. I don't even know what Soho House is. Private equity is a beautiful business, Jamie. It's a beautiful business.
Is that so?
Yes. Beautiful business. Blackstone Inc., which I'm a shareholder in. So buy out Blackstone. Guess what? Buyout giant Blackstone lines up top job for Sunak lieutenant. What does that tell you? So Rishi Sunak has like a freaking got one of his mates a job at Blackstone.
Well, isn't that a surprise?
So you'd think, how many of these companies are actually British? Is Blackstone British or is it American?
You know, that's a good question.
Or is it literally just both a mix of both?
Could be.
Mitsui and Co. Tomo. Carlisle, let's see what Carlisle. For Carlisle and Brookfield. Is Brookfield a public company? You know the company that Mr. Mark Carney's a part used to be very part of, right? That's a
Yes.
public company, ain't it? Ooh. I like
Very
it.
ooh. Yes.
I think I might take a stake.
We'll see why not.
Yeah, I may as well profit off of Mr. Carney's freaking dealings. Because boy, he's gonna make Brookfield shareholders a fucking fortune. KKR, Blackstone, BlackRock.
Of course.
Rock. Shareholder in them. Why doesn't the UK nationalise Mr. Gupta's like freaking steel empire? It's a British steel. We need British steel in this country. Private equity is great. Lloyd, Barclays. Jamie, surprisingly, Barclays has done extremely well this year. And I mean it, they have done extremely well. Their profits are up. Their freaking bag, they're doing extremely well. Their share price is up. Their dividend is up. Barclays is
Good on
doing great.
Barclays.
Yes, Barclays. Same with Lloyd's apparently. Lloyd's is doing extremely well this year as well.
Yes,
Hey,
they
what's up?
are. Hello, Eric.
Are you a shareholder at Lloyd's? Like,
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
we're just saying that that banks are doing extremely well this year. I
Okay,
don't
that's
like
good.
fucking places. That and maybe oil and gas.
I'll be honest. During my walk back home, I saw some news about like Lil Nas X. Apparently, he was found on the street and he's now hospitalized. I think he was off. He was probably off some drugs or something. I don't know. It seemed like it. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, really.
Didn't he die?
No. Lil Nas X didn't die. No, he just became and then some bad stuff started happening to him. Like after that.
Yep. I wouldn't invest. I wouldn't touch China with a 5-foot barge pole. Only countries I would invest in is the UK, America, Japan, and maybe some European country. Specifically Japan. I like Japan's investment market. I like their strategy of all being focused on freaking being very innovative and also, quite frankly, not freaking betting the boat. But yeah. So what else is there?
Nuestro corazón está roto. El grupo Comoda confirma la muerte de su vocalista Draho.
I have no idea what you just said.
Neither do I.
That West.
So,
Santander.
do you know the main? Do you know the? I would say the main gist of the story that you just read.
Yeah. So, Java Draho, vocalist of the Mexican rock band Coda, passed away in Mexico City on Thursday, August 1st, after a battle with stomach cancer. He was 56.
Yikes!
His bandmates shared the news through the group's official social media account.
Dang, bro. First that one judge guy
Ooh.
first that one judge guy that people liked who was 88. Now him. Wow, that's dang.
Sad. Very
Yeah,
unfortunate.
it is sad, bro. It really is. People are just well, it's natural, but people are just dying left and right, unfortunately.
The
And
fence is beautiful.
he was young too. He's only in his 50s. It's not old.
The fence is beautiful. It's more important than tech.
But my condolences are with his family and his fans. But yeah, is there anything else in the news?
What else is there? Rangers, I haven't checked a look on them yet in a while.
Actually, let me check. Oh, for the first time in U.S. history, women over 40 are giving birth more frequently than teenagers.
Yep.
Wow.
Since 1990, teen birth rates have declined by 73%, while births among women aged 40 and older have surged by 193% in 2023.
It's not a good thing. You're applauding that, but it's not a good thing.
I'm not
Okay.
applauding that. I'm just
Yeah,
reading it.
it's It's not a good sign because people are getting that once that gets older, right? Kids will have parents will be dead a lot longer. Will barely have time with their parents, and it means the population will be heavily reliant on older people
Yes,
for jobs, which is a bit concerning.
that's true. That's unfortunate, but it really is.
The Paramount deal went through. They're doing extremely well. I still think that Paramount's going to do extremely interesting things.
You still think that?
Yeah, I think they will. I think I think they're going to do extremely better than Disney. They just got the guy. They got the guy that freaking helped build Pixar, and
I'll be honest.
he's going to be head of animation.
I'll be honest.
He created most of the big brands you know today, like Frozen, Moana, all those big brands from Disney. He created all the big ones plus the ones in the early 2000s. And Disney only fired him was because he was a hugger.
He was a what?
Because he liked to hug people. They only fired him because of that. And let's be real here.
I mean, was
And
there
he's
like?
made some great IP as well. Like the guy's going to be the head of animation at Skydance, at Paramount Skydance.
Hold on.
He's going to have all control of He's going to be a major person that's going to have control of all the Nickelodeon shows, all the Nickelodeon IP. He's going to have access to all that. He's going to be. Plus, if Paramount and Skydance acquired, let's say when they acquired the rights to some of the stuff that DC is getting rid of, right, and they're spinning off into a separate company, if Paramount actually does go ahead and acquires that company, he'll have more stuff to it. He might even have access to all of Cartoon Network stuff. So Looney Tunes, we're talking Bugs Bunny.
Wait, I'm still
Coyote
baffled. I'm still baffled. People, they fired him because he liked to hug people.
And I think he might have said that. That's the public story, and anyway, that's what people think anyway. That, and I think, but you got to remember at the time Disney was very anti-man, and they basically wanted to fucking chuck all the freaking men overboard, and they wanted to pick and put very anti-white man, and they wanted to basically put a bunch of women in. That was before Disney. That was in the 2014s, 2015s when they still.
I would say even still in the 2014s, Disney was at least bearable to watch.
Yeah.
You know, obviously there were shows that were fizzling
I
out.
watched the Fantastic Four movie, Eric, and I thought it was absolute fucking trash. If they
Really?
honestly think that they're going to do well with Avengers Doomsday, they're fucked.
Wow. I'll be honest.
They're
I was thinking
crap.
of
They
seeing
only
it.
made
I was thinking of seeing it, but you know, but I
like
already
they
saw
only
this.
got like four. They're not going to break. They're going to be it's a total flop. They're not going to make money on that.
Hey,
They spent like 400 million on the freaking movie, right? They're not even going to make money back on it.
that's kind of
Well,
sad.
let's say 300 million. That was what it cost to make, but you've got to also add an extra 100 million in that for advertising and marketing. Plus, you've got to include the money that the cinema is going to take off that. So you've got to have a budget of at least 400 million, 500 million just to break even, and they're not going to reach that.
All right, so pretty much they're just losing money then.
Yes, the movies are too big. They need to freaking make movies. The budgets are too big. They need to be brought down to sizable size. Try and make a movie for 50 million. Maybe do it for like freaking and spend maybe 100 million. At least then you'd make money back.
At least the Superman movie succeeded.
No, they barely made money either. They had a 300 million to 200 million box office. At best, they maybe after marketing and all that, they probably made maybe 100 million. At best. And for all the money they spent, it's not really. I wouldn't say it's.
I kind of did like the movie though. It was
They
pretty.
might make it back in merch. They might make it back in merch and all that stuff and clothing, but maybe they might get a tax credit for freaking shooting it in certain places. Again, Disney makes these movies not because they want to lose money, but they make them simply just because they can make the next viral thing, right? So let's say they had Moana 2, or they had the next Lilo and Stitch movie, right? The Lilo and Stitch movie made an absolute fucking fortune for them. They were able to make it and brand it into freaking merchandise, clothing, and all that type of shit. That's where they really make their money.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, they make their money through clothing and sales. They don't make their money through movies. But if they get because the Lilo and Stitch movie did so well, they can make toys. They can make like plushies, Stitch plushies, and sell Stitch plushies. And maybe they can do Lilo Barbie figures or something like that. But yeah, So what else is there?
From TikTok to frontrunner inside Paz's presidential campaign in Bolivia.
Did you hear about frickin' the US sending subs and like frickin' boats to the coast of Colombia? And
Well, it was
what's that about?
Venezuela. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard rumours that they're sending boats and that to Colombia. I think it's mainly to tackle the illegal drug smuggling and all that. Like the cocaine and stuff that you've got in Colombia. But there's I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the American press or the White House press secretary says something about it. So what else is there?
The 57-year-old center-right economist secured 32.1% of the votes in Sunday's election, followed by right-wing former president Jorge Tuto Quiroga, who took 26.8%.
What was this, Bolivia's election?
Yeah.
How's Trump taking that?
Well, there's no
Is he
response
happy
from
Bolivia
Trump.
won? Is he hating or?
There's no response from Trump regarding Bolivia's presidential election.
Interesting bit. So when does Panama host its next general election?
Panama.
Yes. Because I know how much Trump loves Panama and he wants their fucking canal back.
They really do, yes.
Did you remember? Don't you remember that they were? Didn't I talk about something like the Ben Gurion Canal a couple years ago?
Yes.
It was supposed to be a canal they were supposedly building in Gaza, mainly as a new shipping route for the West, because they believe that frickin' Egypt now that the Suez Canal has been taken over by Russia and effectively China through proxy, and they wanted to.
Next,
Supposedly this new canal would cut a couple of days away from them.
the next general election for Panama is in 2029.
Why doesn't Trump just annex all of South America?
Because it'll be too big to manage.
How would it be too big to manage?
US is big enough as it is.
Nah. They give them individual governors, they add senators. The US already manages NATO. How can they manage a full country? So what is Operation Raise the Colours, Jamie?
Operation Raise the Colours?
Operation Raise the Colours.
I have no idea. This is the first time I'm hearing about this.
It's basically for raising the flag, having the flag drawn. Basically, we're going about with waving British flags, putting flags up against flagpoles. Raise the colours. So what else is there?
Let's check. Can your matcha addiction survive a shortage and tariff?
So how have tariffs actually helped America?
Well,
And I heard that Sony's looking to raise the prices on PlayStations in the US
yes,
specifically. How do you think the American populace will take that?
well, on one hand, the American people will be mad because they'll have to
A bit
pay
pissed.
extra. But on the other hand, having high tariffs would mean that there'll be more incentive and encouragement to produce goods and services within the US, as opposed to importing
Does
stuff
this
from
mean
other
that
countries.
literally more? Does this mean that it's going to promote people to frickin' buy Xbox, Americans to buy more Xboxes instead of PlayStations? Because they're
Yes.
supposedly built in America.
Yes.
Are Xboxes built in America?
Well,
I'm going to research that right now.
I'd be surprised. Then again, not really.
I'll tell you the places they're manufactured. And surprisingly, China, Mexico, Hungary, with final assembly taking place in the United States. However, most components are produced overseas, particularly in China.
Wow, shocker.
It doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
Nope, not at all. Then, of course, it makes so much sense. You start producing the product in countries with very cheap labor, and then finish producing the product within the country that has so much wealth. And then say, oh, this product was made here, in this very country that you're in right now. It has so much money. And they don't talk about anything else that happened before that, because that's giving all the other countries way too much credit.
Yes. Is the EU a country? EU a country?
No.
Then why was Ursula von der Leyen invited to the freaking UK, to the US country summit?
Because the EU is not a country, it is a international organization, which, given its existing bureaucracy and infrastructure, could be considered a country, even though it's not.
Does the UK secretly want to be part of the EU?
Mostly no.
The search assistant would have you believe that the UK has not does not have a unified desire to become American, but there are strong historical ties. So what else is there?
2025 blood pressure guidelines highlight early treatment, brain health focus.
Here's an interesting statistic that might make you two cry. Married
What?
and own a home by 30 years old in America, 1950, 50%. 1960, 52%. 1970, 48%. 1980, 45%. 1990, 43%. 2000, 35%. 2010, 25%. 2025, 12%. And 2026 will 2026 and in 2030 will probably be less than 5%. What does that tell you?
That there are less people
That
that
is
are
sad,
owning
ain't
their
it?
own homes. Yes, it is.
That is fucking sad.
Very sad.
1950, 50%.
I'm sorry. What were you guys saying?
Married and own a home by 30 years old, 1950, in America, 50%.
Oh, that is sad.
1960, 52%.
Oh, that is.
1970, 48%.
Oh, that.
1980, 45%. 1990, 43%. 2000, 35%. 2010, 25%. 2025, 12%.
Oh, that is sad. Oh, that
Yes,
is.
it is.
That is
And
so
that's just the
sad.
fucking US.
Oh,
We're not
oh.
even diving into the likes of France, the French,
I
Britain,
mean,
or even freaking half of you.
I mean, the data's not wrong. I still live with my mom.
I know it's not wrong, but it's sad. There's
It
some
is.
people saying
What has life come
this
to?
guy's saying the death of a nation. Thanks to the Fed.
By that standard, I should have been moved out, or I don't know. At least
Yeah, by 1950, yeah. The thing is, it's sad.
it's sad alone that it was 50% in 1950.
Well, they had more money back then.
That's true.
Well, actually, back then
They
things
say
were a
that
lot more affordable.
they like to say they had no money. They like to say that they had no money, but they had better opportunities back then than what they do now.
And back then things were a lot more affordable because there was no need to get an extra job. There was no incentive to work extra hours to pay for whatever that's needed. But now, since there's more an incentive to work extra jobs, now people will have to work extra jobs to make extra money so they can afford the bare minimum, what is need to be afforded. And it just doesn't stop.
Yes.
That's depressing, but true. That is very sad.
Why is this man putting a Pakistani flag up in a freaking British thing? That's not right. This man deserves to be freaking kicked out. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Terrible. What's the odds of Sadiq Khan becoming our next Prime Minister, Jamie?
Not gonna happen.
Is he a Muslim?
Yes,
Is he a Muslim? Okay, that's why Sadiq. Okay, not a bad name. I wouldn't name myself that though. But yeah, why do you think there's a low chance of him becoming the next prime minister?
Because the thing is, to become prime
Why
minister,
is there a low chance?
well, the thing is, in order for him to become prime minister, he has to be an MP of an existing UK constituency, and to become a member, or to be a member of parliament for a constituency, he has to
Remember, Jamie, remember how they freaking got Sunak in? Nobody really voted for him, did they?
in the
He
leader.
was instilled.
Yes, through the leadership election,
They
there was
put him in
there
a
wasn't
safe
much of a public
seat.
say.
All they've got to do is put him in a fucking safe seat. They have one of the fucking Muslim MPs fucking sit down. The Islamist fucking put Sadiq Khan. He runs in that seat. Starmer fucking resigns. And they in you go, pop your clogs, they fucking vote him in, and he's now Prime Minister. None of us voted for him, but yeah, he's in. He's PM. Which I think is utterly fucking ridiculous. The Prime Minister resigns, and we automatically need to call a fucking general. But that's not how this country fucking operates, sadly.
But what current local MP would give up his or her seat to get Sadiq Khan in to be considered it?
There's fucking many. So many. Zara Sultan probably would have. Or like, how many? What's the MPs that love sucking off Sadiq Khan saying he's such a great man? One of those freaking idiots would fucking do it. Heck, I'm willing to bet that West Streeting would give up his seat for it.
But even if there are people willing to give up their seat for Sadiq Khan, if in the next, whenever by-election is triggered, who's to say the local constituents would vote for another party that isn't Labour? And especially with the rising support of
put
reform.
him in a safe seat, a seat where they're guaranteed to win, a seat that's already in their favour, a seat that's already always going to vote Labour.
But
Put
the
them in a
thing is,
fucking Islamic stronghold.
but if we were to learn anything from the last general election, we've learned that no matter what seat is likely to vote for a party, no seat is ever going to be safe.
No seat is ever. You're right on that. No seat's ever going to be safe, but there are seats that are fucking strongholds.
That's true, yes.
Didn't they try and put Boris Johnson in a freaking safe seat? A Tory seat that's guaranteed always going to vote Tory.
Absolutely.
Like take Pierre Poilievre for example. He was his MP. There was an MP that freaking stood down for him so he could run again, right? And he won it fucking landslide with an 80% majority.
Yes, because the
A
people in
Tory
Alberta,
district.
they would only vote for the Canadian Conservatives and no other party.
Yes.
Of course, if he does want to run for MP seat, he has to step down as Mayor of Greater London. Because being the Mayor of Greater London also means you are head chief commissioner of the police force within that metropolitan authority. And
But he
there's
doesn't give a fuck about the people of London. In fact, he fucking spits on them every single day. He despises Londoners.
even then, but that is exactly what's stopping him from even considering running for a seat that at
This
least a
man has
by-election.
political ambitions. He'll resign, right? Resign as mayor, and he'll fucking get put into a safe seat. Mark my words. It's either that him or Rayner. And I don't think I like any of them. I think they're all shite. If it were up to me, if Starman resigns, he'd have a fucking general election. We'd vote in fucking Farage, even though I don't truly believe he's actually going to fucking do what he says he's going to do. I personally don't believe that he'll do anything. I might vote for. I'm not even sure if I would vote for Farage. I might back the Tories. I hope that Generic. I might even vote Generic. Vote for Generic and like them. But who knows? We'll see. Because I do believe that Farage will fucking leave, right? They're gonna put like Zia in a safe seat, a semi-interesting seat, right? They're gonna have Zia run as a thing. Nigel's gonna retire, I think, a month from then, and then they're gonna instantly just chuck him into power. Not even have to go through a general election; he'll just be input into power. And that's seriously things that I want to change in our government. I really want to make it so they cannot do that. They cannot literally just resign and then shove in whoever the fuck they really want in. That's not right. It's not legitimate, and it's kind of a bit shady. It's happened with Labour, and it's also happened with the Tories. That should be banned. But did you hear that Texas redrew their map?
Yeah, I've heard.
Missouri's going to do the same.
Every state is going to redraw their districts.
I'm curious to see how Alabama will redraw their districts. Same with Nashville or Tennessee.
No matter how states redraw their districts, Republicans are going to have the upper hand because there's the majority of most states'
The
lands
thing
is
is, though,
rural.
the majority of the freaking seats are Republican. As much as they want to say it, smaller seats are Republicans. Republicans own a lot more seats than Democrats. Yes, the Democrats own the ones with more people.
But that's
But
in
Texas
very
and
small
Florida,
land
they're becoming
areas.
very powerful states in themselves. Yeah, but they're going to have very much power. The Irish Patriots have joined the Raise the Colours campaign with flags being raised in Dublin. I wonder if France is going to do the same thing. So what else is there?
That is us.
Okay.
Peace.